Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking another look at DAX. My name is Mitchell Pearson, and what we're covering today is I'm going in and looking at the ISINSCOPE function. Now, about 2.5, 3 years ago, I wrote a series of blogs at mitchellpearson.com that talked really about specifically working with totals in Power BI, and specifically with DAX, of course. And what a lot of people start to learn as they go through this journey with DAX is when you start looking at the total row, you start to realize the total row is not always just the sum of the rows in that column, right? And so you start to realize that, hey, the total row is actually evaluated within its own filter context. So I did a series of blogs on that, 3-part series, I believe. And recently I had a question that popped up in the comments on one of those, and I wanted to dive into that. Now, over the years, every once in a while, Microsoft comes out with new functions that don't happen all the time. It's not every week, it's not every month, but you do have new functions that come out that make stuff a little bit easier. And one of the ones that's kind of flown under the radar for me that I've just never dove into, I've never really gotten into because it doesn't fit within the scope of what I've been doing, is ISINSCOPE. So we're going to take a quick look at that today in a very quick kind of reference, and we'll see exactly what that does. So let's take a look real quick at kind of what I'm talking about here. Now, also, I do want to reference my blog, of course. So back over at mitchellpearson.com, this is part 1 in the series of blogs I was talking about with unexpected totals. And in this blog, I speak specifically to the fact that maybe when it's unexpected at the bottom and it doesn't really make sense, you just want to hide the total row, right? Stop getting emails, stop getting IMs. You just want to hide the total row so that you can move on. Because if you put out something that has an incorrect total or doesn't quite add up correctly, you're going to get a lot of feedback from users, and we don't want that. And so we could hide it. And so in this blog post, I go in and I talk about how you can use HASONEVALUE to check kind of to see if you're at the total row. So there's no magic bullet here. There's no magic bullet that says you're at the total row, do this. But you can use different functions in DAX to try to figure out if you're at the total row. Now, this brings us back over to Power BI Desktop. So let's take a quick look at that. In this example right here, I have a very, very simple data model with just a couple of rows of data. I have customer ID coming from my dim customer table. And then I'm now looking at the amount of cells per customer over here in this table right here. And what I want to do is I want to identify if I'm at the total row or not. And so historically, the way that I've always done this is I would say if customer ID has one distinct value, in other words, if in this cell right here, the distinct value for customer ID is unique, then return true, else false, right? So I would do that with this function right here. This function right here, one value says has one value. It returns true or false. If the customer ID in the filter context has a single value, return true, else return false, right? So you can imagine right here when you're looking at this table, if you're on the first row, there's only one customer ID. It's being filtered down by customer ID of 1. And if you're at the second row, it's customer ID of 2. And if you're at the third row, it's customer ID of 3. So it's just one value. But what happens at the total row? Well, at the total row, you actually have 3 different customer IDs that are present, right? So at the total row, this should return false. So it should be true, 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 and then false. So let's take a look at that in our table real quick, like so. I'm going to drag it over and drop it right there. And you see exactly what this measure returns. Does it have one value for the customer ID within the current filter context? Yes, it does. So it returns true, 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 and then false, right? So that right there is exactly what we look for. And in that blog I showed you a moment ago, this is the function that I used. I have another blog that talks about the difference between one value and ISFILTERED as well. So let's take a look at ISFILTERED here. Now I'm not going to go into as much detail as I do in those blogs because I like to keep these videos 5 to 10 minutes, and we're already pushing 4 minutes here. But I have another function that I've created called ISFILTERED, and you'll see that it says if the customer ID is directly being filtered, return true, else return false. And so dim customer, customer ID, let's bring that in real quick and take a look at what that does. And you'll notice we get the exact same results here that we get with one value. Now, this works if we're trying to find the total row within this current within this current report that we're looking at. Either one of these kind of works. We can say if ISFILTERED returns true, then go ahead and perform our sum of whatever it is, else return blank, right? We're just going to hide the total row, so we return blank. However, where this does not work, if you're watching where it says false at the total row, is when I come over here and I filter down to customer ID of 1, Now it is being filtered directly by customer ID, and there is only one value. So is filtered returns true because it's being filtered directly by customer ID. One value returns true because there's only one value at the total row, right? We've filtered down the entire report, and the total row now represents it. And so now you would get a value. So sometimes you might get a total row, sometimes you would get blank if you use has one value. So has one value is not a magic bullet. It doesn't solve all problems. However, there is a function, like I said at the beginning, ISINSCOPE, that works quite a bit better for working with totals. And that's why I wanted to do this video here, thanks to the questions and comments and feedback that I get on my existing blogs and YouTube videos. So let's take a look at the last one here, which is ISINSCOPE. There's a lot of use cases for ISINSCOPE, goes way beyond what I'm covering in this video. There's tons of blogs and videos out there, but I find it really, really helpful for the total row. And so what I've done here, very similar to what we've already seen, is we have created a new measure called in scope, and we're saying, look, if it is in scope, in other words, we're in the scope of the customer ID, return true, else return false, right? So let's remove our filter here, and I'm going to grab in scope and pull it back over, and you're going to notice has one value, is filtered, is in scope. They're all returning the exact same results, right? True, true, true. At the total row, they're all returning false. However, the big difference here is when we filter down over here on customer ID, and I filter down to one value still doesn't really work if you're trying to calculate for the total row, because now it says it's true, it only has one value. But is in scope is correctly identifying that we're at the total row. It says false. So now I can have some logic in a measure that says, look, if you're at the individual record where it's being filtered, go ahead and return the sum, go ahead and return the aggregation, return that value. However, if you're at the total row, return blank. And so that's going to be the next piece of this puzzle that I'm going to show you here in just a second. Well, what happens if we select multiple customer IDs? You'll see multiple customer IDs, has one value, works perfectly because that's how it was originally. Is filtered, it doesn't work because it's being used by customer ID. So not really great for kind of total rows, right? And then is in scope, still false. So is in scope works whether everything is selected, whether one thing is selected, two things, it knows you're at the total row. Now, why do I show you all of this? Well, what we want to do is I have a measure here called total cells. And in this measure, I've created three variables just so we could jump between them if we wanted to. The only one we really need is going to be is in scope. But if I come in here and I say, you know, if we are in scope at the customer ID level, right? If it is in scope, perform this sum calculation. In other words, if you're at customer ID of 1, customer ID of 2, customer ID of 3, perform that sum of cells amount. However, if you're not, if it returns false, which means we're at the total row, then return blank, right? So that's what this does, using is in scope. Actually, let's cheat real quick. We're going to start with one value. So I'll show you what one value does. There we go. One value is not going to quite work the way we want when we filter down to one specific customer ID in our slicer. So we're going to bring in total cells real quick. Oh, I have the wrong visual selected, so I'll just drag it over here. We'll bring in total cells, and you'll notice that has one value still shows a value at the total row, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? We're trying to identify where the total row, then do something else. But has one value doesn't really work when you are filtered down to an individual customer. However, when we're not filtered down to a single customer, there's more than one customer ID, which there are at the total row, has one value works. And so most of the time has one value works. This was a very, very common pattern if you go back 2-3 years ago. But with the implementation of is in scope, this being a relatively new function in the last year or two, this is actually, I find is in scope, just doing a little bit of research here, playing around with it, to be better for working with total. So let's switch this up, right? Total cells has one value, works when you don't have anything selected in the slicer, but if you go down to one individual item, it doesn't work. So let's try this one more time real quick. We'll go back into total cells, go back into our code, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this with the returned value, the value that's being returned by is in scope. So if is in scope returns true, return the sum of the cells amount. If it returns false, which is what we expect at the total row, return blank, right? So we'll hit enter here. Let's take a look. Let's see what happens. All right, so it looks like it works, right? It's working when there are more than one customer at the total row. It recognizes it. It returns blank. The true test is whenever we click one of these IDs, right? So if I go down to customer ID of 3, it still returns blank. which is perfect, and it's exactly what we were looking for. So has one value, true, wouldn't have worked. Is filtered, true, would not work. Is in scope says, whoa, 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 customer ID is not in scope at the total row, so we're going to return false, and therefore it works at the total row. And that's it. If you want to dive deeper into this, you want to figure out how to return the value of those rows within a column if they are different than what the total row is. I have a blog on that where I use SumX to figure that out. And then I have another blog. I don't even remember all of them. Like I said, they were 2.5, 3 years ago. But I really love working with the has one totals, or not has one totals, the total row when they're not correct. It's always a challenge. It's always fun. You always have to play with filter context. It's a great way to learn DAX. So go take a look at my blogs. And then, of course, if you like this video, subscribe, like it, tell your family and friends. And there's no doubt that I'll be doing more of these in the future. So thank you and enjoy.